meteorologist, Matthew Mondro.
Right now, it's 52 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, filling in one last time for Art here on this stint. For those of you that may not have been listening, Art is on day 7 of a 7-day vacation. Those are business days, and so Art will be back tomorrow. Those of you that love to call in should be thrilled. Start doing your party. Art will be taking calls this week. But as you know, when I'm on, we do quite a bit telling the story of the Great Lakes Bay region. It's been quite the morning in here. Jonathan had not changed the clocks yet. I mean, that's how far behind we are here at WSGW.
I had not changed the one clock.
I mean,
all the other ones do it themselves.
It's the one clock we can see. So that clock clearly has some age on it because it didn't change on its own. And then Jonathan questioned, because Jonathan and I last week decided that Christmas music needed to wait. I saw a wonderful meme, and it was basically a giant turkey sitting on Santa going, "Wait your turn, fat guy, Thanksgiving first." But Jonathan and I decided that we were going to do everything we could to celebrate Thanksgiving music between now and Thanksgiving, and then shift to Christmas music. So over the weekend, with your research project, can you please explain how much Thanksgiving music you found for our listeners?
If I want to count like the Charlie Brown theme, because there's that Charlie Brown Thanksgiving
absolutely
movie, right? Yeah, so I'll count that one. So 1.
And then Adam Sandler is 2.
And then Adam Sandler is 2. So we have a little bit of variety.
So we're going to throw those on repeat, and everyone will beg for Christmas music by the time we're done. Oh, you want to know what's funny, though? Last night, I'm not lying, I watched that Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special. There was nothing on. I'm not going to lie, I was footballed out, which is rare for me. But I'm like, I got to take a break from football. And I was flipping through. Apple TV has all of the Charlie Brown stuff. And of course, what's the first scene? It starts with Lucy pulling the football out. I'm like, I tried to just get away from football, and they dragged me back in. So this morning, we're going to get to the show here. We probably should do that, Jonathan. Our first guests here in the first hour are Scott and Kelly Stasak with Game Changer Therapy Services. Good morning, Scott and Kelly.
Morning.
Good morning.
So Game Changer Therapy Services. Like, we got to go big picture here, because I think for a lot of our listeners over the course of the last 5 years, you guys are suddenly everywhere. I can't drive down Bay Road without a big sign sitting in my face, and we're hiring. It looks like you guys have really kind of exploded here over the course of the last 5 years, and thought this was a great opportunity. A lot of times when I have the show, we have some pretty big businesses on, right? The Dows, DuPonts, the monsters, but a lot of our listeners understand that our economy is powered by small business, and that healthcare services are powered by small businesses. And we thought, what a unique opportunity to tell the story of one of these small businesses. So, Scott, Kelly, what is Game Changer Therapy Services? When did you start? And kind of what does that footprint look like today?
Yeah. As far as Game Changer goes, we are an outpatient pediatric therapy provider. And so what we offer is skilled occupational therapy, physical therapy, ABA therapy, and with those services, speech therapy. With those services, we create an all-inclusive play-based model and an outpatient, but also clinic-based and home-based services. And we really see kids age 2 to 21 in the clinic. And one thing that our services really works to provide is kind of age and stage development-based therapy. And so from the standpoint of what we do, our team is just fantastic, in terms of providing those outpatient services, but it's all developmental based. So focused on what level is your son or daughter at, and then how do we get them to the next stage?
So Scott, when you say this, I'm sure a lot of listeners are like, hey, wait a minute. Don't these services exist? Don't our ISDs or ESAs or schools, don't they provide all these services? What really kind of showed you that there was a demand for these services outside of school? Because I think a lot of people just are under the assumption that, oh, hey, when kids need these services, they have them. That's what schools are for. They provide lots of different things. But that's just not the case, is it?
No, so I got my start originally with Saginaw Community Mental Health as an occupational therapist, and that's kind of my discipline specifically. And a lot of responsibilities were given to me right away at Saginaw, and really seeing Saginaw CMH and really all CMHs at that time, which was around 2014, was on the big up and rise for autism-based services, and seeing how OT is life skill development in a nutshell. That was my focus at that time, and my wife actually took us and the kids to the Children's Museum off Genesee in Bay City or in Saginaw. And walking in there, I was on a clinic development project with Saginaw CMH, and I'm like, holy cow, the Children's Museum is like a pediatric clinic on steroids. I could do so much therapy here, and being able to look at that and create therapeutic activities out of play-based activities that kids find meaningful. And that's where really Game Changer got our start. I started communicating with the CEO then was Emily Yeager, who was fantastic. And I think she's with the Can Council now doing great things there. And my focus then was I'm providing a unique style of occupational therapy that really kids vibe with and that I get a ton of participation with. And from an outpatient therapy standpoint, then being a pediatric therapy provider from that younger age populations, there's a ton of outpatient providers out there. If you break a leg or a hip, or if you have an arm surgery and you're looking for rehab, there's a ton of outpatient rehab. When you're looking at kids with development based, you might be focused on habilitation, but then taking, learning skills for the first time. That's where development based therapy comes into, and having our focus be with kids, having that targeted age and stage, creating a clinic atmosphere that kids are interested in at age 6, 7, 3, and 4, and also having that same environment where kids are interested in at 17, 18 is absolutely fantastic. And it's all about the team and the atmosphere that we've created. But our therapy is unique because we really tap into those kids' unique interests and activities, and we capitalize on that in our therapy sessions.
So Kelly thinks she's going to get off the hook and just let the two of us talk back and forth, but that is not going to be the case. So let's be clear. This looks like a Hallmark television or a Hallmark television movie in here. Scott's got his orange Thanksgiving pants on. Kelly is in her autumn attire. And if those of you guys that don't know Kelly, she's a doppelganger for Reese Witherspoon. So it looks like this is like the first scene of a Reese Witherspoon classic Hallmark movie for Thanksgiving.
Would that make me the love interest?
That does make you the love interest.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
And it's one of those where you're like, that guy and that girl, no way. It's just not possible. That's the movie that we're having right now. So it's kind of fun. So Kelly, let me ask you though. So Scott comes home and he goes, hey, was at the Children's Museum. I know you're doing X and I'm doing Y, but we're going to start this small business. How do you, look at him seriously and take that leap of faith of, okay, we're going to go do this?
Well, I could see how successful he was with the kids that he worked with. He would come home and he would be so excited to tell me about something that happened at work where a parent, had tears in their eyes because he was able to help a child ride their bike or tie their shoes or even buckle your seatbelt. Like as a parent, we take things for granted. Your kids hop in the car, they buckle their seatbelt, they put on their own shoes. But for a lot of families, that's something that, their child might be 10, 11, 12 years old and they can't ride a bike and they're not fitting in maybe with the neighborhood kids because they're not able to do that. And Scott was able to kind of overcome a lot of these obstacles with these children. And he would still come home and jump right in and start playing with our kids. Like he just has a really natural ability to work with kids. We'll go on vacation. We'll be all in the pool swimming somewhere. And all of a sudden there's like 4 kids random that have joined in on whatever game he's come up with for the kids to play. And at the time I owned a salon and I was kind of getting to the point where I wanted to be around my kids more nights, weekends. And I've always been kind of a big risk taker just in general. And he brought it up and said, what do you think if I try this? And I don't think it really took me long. I think it was about a 2-minute conversation and I knew it. I just said, let's do it.
Wow. So for those that are listening, that may not be aware. Talk about where your footprint is today. Where are your facilities, and when have they opened kind of through the years?
Yeah, so our home base, we operate out of the Great Lakes Bay region. Is what I always
right
tell.
on message. Fantastic. +1.
It's something we always, meeting you, Matt, and really hearing what the Great Lakes Bay region is all about and the Bay Region Alliance. It really changed our messaging of how we wanted to market our services. But right now, home base is Bay City for us, off Wilder Road. That was our first clinic. That's where all of our administrative hub is at all of our locations. But we have a total of 5. And so we're in Bay City. We have 3 locations operating out of Saginaw, really central to Saginaw Township in the city of Saginaw, where most of our clients are pulling from right now, is in that heart of Saginaw. We want to relocate our clinics to where we're needed most. But the heart of Saginaw, 3 clinics. And then we also have a large facility, 9,000 square foot facility in Midland, kind of by the Midland Mall as well.
Wow. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to chat about how someone that's listening today who may have a child or grandchild that needs these services can seek you out and how these are paid for after these messages.
Meet the dedicated team of professionals at McLaren Bay Region. They're committed to providing the best possible experience for their patients.
Hi, I'm Patty Irwin, manager of the trauma program at McLaren Bay Region. I am proud to be a part of Bay County's only designated trauma center. When you choose McLaren, you can trust our highly trained staff will provide the best quality of care.
When choosing McLaren Bay Region for your healthcare needs, you can trust that you'll be doing what's best for you and your family.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we
go. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are higher. Oil prices rose this morning after Saudi Arabia and Russia remained committed to extend production cuts through December. Dish Network lost money in its summer quarter. Wall Street was expecting a profit. Dish says pay TV subscribers declined in the period. Retail wireless subscribers also declined. Starbucks says it will raise wages by a minimum of 3% in January. Eligible employees with more years of service will receive at least 5%. Starbucks also says starting in February, its hourly workers will accrue paid vacation time starting 90 days after being hired. And Starbucks is looking to add credential and certification programs to its Starbucks College Achievement Plan. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Why are central banks quietly amassing mountains of gold? Because they know the dollar won't last. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to diversify your IRA or 401k into physical gold with Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get a free info kit on gold by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. So text SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit now.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll regarding the time change. In spring 2022, the U.S. Senate unanimously passed the Sunshine Protection Act to make daylight saving time permanent. It would have started here in November of 2023, except the U.S. House never did anything with the legislation. A 2023 version of this act has remained idle in Congress as well. Many support the idea of no more time changes, though not all are on board to make daylight saving time permanent. There are some who advocate that standard time should be the permanent time. The poll question for you: what time structure should there be in the United States? Should daylight saving time be permanent, where it's more dark in the morning and more light in the evening? Should the standard time be permanent, where it's more light in the morning but more dark in the evening? Would you say just leave the time changes as we have them right now? Or are you not sure? Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the online poll box, and make your vote.
Your morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, filling in for Art. The Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. So this morning, to start out our Monday, I'm joined by the Staysacks, Scott and Kelly, and we're talking about their company, Game Changer Therapy Services. In the first segment, you guys did a great job explaining where you're at and what services you provide. But now let's kind of pivot and go, okay, how does someone get those services? Let's say that there's someone currently in their office right now, and as an example, which will be a true example, I guarantee there's someone listening now who has a grandchild that has speech issues. And this grandma's thinking to herself, you know what? My grandchild really needs these extra services. How do I go about this? How do they go to Game Changer? And then more importantly, how are the ways in which it's paid for? How attainable and affordable is this? Or is this just for a certain segment of kids kind of in society? This is, I think, would be really helpful information for the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of our most common questions: is how do we get into services? And there's really a couple different routes, but they all lend into the same circle. So one way you could always do is reach out to us directly. If you need to, you can go to our webpage, gamechangertherapy.com. If you find us there, call us and we'll have a representative. He's our intake. His name is Chandler. He does all of our intakes for every single facility, and he kind of can guide you through that process. The other step you could take is go directly to your pediatrician. Every service we offer, OT, PT, speech, ABA, those services have to be referral driven. We need a medical referral to make those services happen for you. That's ultimately what leads into payment. But we can guide you through that process directly, or you can go directly to your pediatrician for your son, daughter, grandchild, and say, I'm interested in getting these services. I want to go here. And so there's a couple different routes. Other route is, if you are part of the community mental health system, you could always contact your case holder directly too. If somebody's receiving community mental health services, there's a referral department and avenue that they can guide you through a lot like we could, but certainly even through community mental health, you can contact us directly.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, your insurance could cover this, correct?
Absolutely. I'd say 98% of the services we offer are insurance covered.
Got it. If they don't, they could be Medicaid eligible.
Correct.
Yep.
And if not, someone could pay out of pocket as well, correct?
Yep. Out of pocket rates is always an option as well. We try and exhaust working with your insurances first, and we try and be transparent with families up front with regards if there is a hurdle that they face with your insurance. All coverage is different. We accept all the major insurances in our region, and the focus with us on is if there's medical necessity there, we're going to work to get this insurance reimbursed service.
Got it. So you guys talk about this literally like I talk about college football, right? I know all the ins and outs. I know the players. I know the plays. I know the coaches. Everybody, you just know it, right?
Yep.
But again, for those that are listening, can you differentiate a little bit on what the difference is between some of your services? I know you mentioned occupational, physical therapy, speech, and what was the last one?
ABA.
ABA, right?
Yeah.
So let's start there because you said ABA and I'm singing ABBA songs. So I'm lost already. Walk through so our listeners know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. So acronyms is our world, right? It's in all disciplines. OT is occupational therapy. That's where I've kind of set up home bases there, right? And it's all about life skill development for kids who have developmental delay. There's an age and stage for everything. Even with a kiddo growing up with maybe no deficits, there's an age and a stage when there is typical development. And so OT focuses on life skill development and reaching those milestones. Speech therapy is very much that's the ST acronym, but speech therapy is really language driven and communication driven. And a lot of people think communication is just verbal, but for a lot of our kiddos, they are nonverbal. And so we focus on how do those kids communicate as well. And a lot of times behavior is communications for individuals who don't have the ability to express. And physical therapy and OT are very blended in terms of even from an insurance reimbursement, they bill the same codes. But physical therapy typically focuses on gross motor movements, more big body movement, strength, lower leg extremity ambulation, gait, which is walking abnormalities, a lot of that type of strengthening, range of motion. And then the focus with ABA, and that's that one that is, in my opinion, and I think the general census is ABA is applied behavior analysis, which is the most predominant and autism focused intervention that we offer. And ABA focuses on behaviors, but how those behaviors shape everyday life. And so applied behavior analysis really focuses working only on kids who have autism. And the focus is blending these services because there's gray areas between OT, ABA, speech. ABA works on life skill development too. ABA also works on language and communication, but we take these disciplines and what makes us unique is how we've been able to blend those services. When a parent or a loved one finds out their kid may need a service, trying to decide which service to get and how do I coordinate my life around these services is a solution-based style of thinking that we've been able to create in our business model of we answer prayers for families who want not just ABA, not just speech, not just OT, but if there's medical need for all those services, we want to combine them and create a focused approach where those services aren't working against each other, not working different models, but working together.
So Kelly, tell me, because this is going to be helpful. What does a day look like for one of your children in the program? What time are they coming in? What time are they going to leave? How long are they there?
Yeah.
Talk about what a day looks like for these kids.
So it's going to be very different. Going back to ABA, you have to have an autism diagnosis. So if you want your child to get ABA therapy, sometimes we've had parents call and they don't have the diagnosis yet. We can point them in the right direction of how they go about, getting an evaluation done. As far as OT, PT, speech, you do not need a diagnosis to necessarily an autism diagnosis to get those services. So we have some clients that are coming for multiple services that are there from between 10 and 40 hours a week. Probably more like 30, actually, between 10 and 30 hours a week. So they might come, if they're a toddler age, they may come at 9 o'clock in the morning and be there till 3 in the afternoon. We have some that go to preschool in the morning and come from 12 to 3. We also have clients that are coming just for maybe speech therapy that come. Speech therapy sessions are typically 30 minutes long twice a week. OT sessions are typically an hour long twice a week. So it really just depends. My son, for example, he never qualified for services through school, but he definitely had a speech delay. He was in preschool, kindergarten, and his friends couldn't understand him. So we took it upon ourselves to go to our pediatrician, get a referral, and we got him outpatient speech therapy. And then he was able to graduate by the 2nd grade. And now you would never know that he had a speech delay. So it really just depends. It's a very wide range.
Fascinating. So we are going to take another commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about that thing that everybody seems to talk about. And that is talent, because it sounds like you guys need a heck of a lot of talent to run your clinics after these messages.
I got it. Thank you, honey. Mom, it's for you. Oh, let me dry my hands. Hold on. Oh, and it looks like we got one too many table settings. Your brother couldn't get leave. He's not going to be
right here.
Tommy!
Surprise.
How'd you get here?
Well, I know some folks.
This holiday season, let MBS International Airport with services through United and Delta Airlines bring the whole family together. Feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. For more information or to book your flight today, visit mbsairport.org.
Kapoco Community Credit Union has you covered this fall for any of your lending needs. Have home improvements? You're covered. How about that fall color tour vacation? Covered. Maybe it's something that will make lasting memories like a wedding. Yep, Kapoco has loans that will help you with all those life-changing events. Any dream is possible when you let Kapoco dream it with you. Kapoco Community Credit Union, Bay City and Saginaw. Plan your fall now. Go online to kapoco.org. Member NCUA.
Associates in Eye Care in Saginaw is hosting their Fall Harvest Trunk Show Thursday, November 9th from 1 to 6:30 p.m. Stop in to see all the latest styles in eyewear, giveaways, refreshments, and so much more. Take 30% off a complete pair and 40% off additional pairs with several brands to choose from. Plus, don't forget most insurance balances will be ending at the end of the year. So book your appointment while you're there. The Fall Harvest Trunk Show, Thursday, November 9th from 1 to 6:30 p.m. at Associates in Eye Care off Center Road in Saginaw.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Owens Corning pink foamular insulation panels have superior moisture resistance for interior and exterior applications and are the first line of defense against heat loss through basement walls. Look for the pink panels and save. Right now, get 11% off on all insulation products at Menards. Good through November 12th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Attention everyone on Medicare.
Whoa. Cut.
What? This is a Medicare annual enrollment ad.
Yeah, but for eHealth, we make Medicare easy, not stressful. You can compare plans in the Saginaw area from multiple insurance companies side by side.
So it's convenient.
And personal. Compare plans that cover your doctors, your medications, and your budget.
Personal.
Plus, you'll get free unbiased support from eHealth's licensed insurance agents with no obligation to enroll.
I see it now. eHealth's like a helpful guide or...
Your Medicare matchmaker.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Medicare plans change every year. Find the plan for you by comparing all-in-one plans all in one place at eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
Nailed it.
Get started at eHealth.com or call 1-800-975-1891 to speak to a licensed insurance agent.
That's 1-800-975-1891.
All voices are paid actors. This ad is not from the government. It's from eHealth, an insurance agency selling plans for many insurance companies.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. Matt Felan guest hosting for Art, who's on his last day of vacation. Jonathan, is he like just at home and in the area? Is he taking that like extra, that bridge day to get you to when you have to go back to work?
I think Charlie said he's on his way back. Art contacted him today and said he's on his way back and he expects to be back tomorrow if everything goes according to plan. And it will.
And it will.
It will.
So for those of you that weren't listening last week, Jonathan and I were in a very different spot. So it's clear that Jonathan's dream came true because it sounds like Art's going to be here tomorrow. We know that he had a stop in Vegas, and I was rooting for him. I wanted Art to strike it big, millions of dollars. He could go off into the sunset, be fully retired, not have to worry about this.
Then you'd be on the hook to do this show for.
And that's where we get to Jonathan Dent's rooting interest, who was like, yeah, no. 7 days of Felan is more than enough. He rooted openly against Art from winning so that you would have to come back to work. Yeah, Art's a young man just getting started in his career, and he can't afford that time off. So, Art, if you're listening, just know I was rooting for you. Jonathan was rooting against. You guys figure it out yourselves, tomorrow when you're back. You guys will come up with a solution. So I am here this morning with Scott and Kelly Stasak from Game Changer Therapy Services. And we've really learned a lot this morning in terms of the type of services, where you're located, the differentiation, what a day looks, and how it's funded. But in all of this, guys, you mentioned one staffer, the great Chandler. It sounds like with 5 locations and the type of service you're doing, you guys need a lot of staff. But beyond a lot of staff, it sounds like you need a well-trained staff. How many people do you currently employ?
Yeah, the number varies weekly, but I would say we're somewhere around 240, 220.
Stop it.
Something like that.
You're between 220 and 240 employees right now.
Yeah.
And of those, let's just make a round number. Let's just say you employ 200 in theory, right? Of those 200, how many of those are highly trained professionals that are therapists, that are kind of at the occupational therapists, physical therapists, kind of at the top? And then what do the other employees look like? Because I do know from personal experience and knowing you guys that you also employ a lot of just younger professionals, young kids who may be in college or coming out of college. You guys are doing a great job with co-op programs and different things to really get younger folks involved. But what does that breakdown look like?
Yeah, our largest base of that, let's say 200, is our behavior technicians. And those are still health professionals, certainly, but it's our entry-level health professional position where they're working directly with those kids under the ABA programming, that applied behavior analysis. And we've introduced a lot of people to the field of ABA. They have to get their training certifications. We've in-housed a lot of our trainings, and going back to that Rockstar crew, Tanner Jones does all of our training internal, and he's absolutely phenomenal. We've actually in-housed all of our CPR first aid trainings, and all of our professional trainings are through him. But of that group, it's our largest base. I'd say it's probably 130 to something around 110 employees are behavior technicians.
So you have to be 18 years old and have
Yep.
a high school diploma. And then you complete a 40-hour online training. And then you complete like a week-long training in clinic that we provide. And then at that point, you're able to go on the floor and work one-on-one with a child with autism, but you are under the supervision of a BCBA or an ABA supervisor.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So you guys, there's various offerings for people that are looking. Are you hiring right now? How is that talent fight going for you right now?
We field and hire applicants every single week. We've actually transitioned it. We're interviewing and hiring weekly, but we're offering those week-long trainings bi-weekly to kind of introduce them into the area. We can give more attention. Aside from our behavior technicians base, we're always looking for great talent from our therapeutic side. And we consider it enhanced health services, but that's OTPT speech. And that employs around 25 to 30, more like 35 maybe individuals for OTPT speech. And each discipline has its own clinical specialist route as well too. Michaela McCullum is our speech therapist, clinical specialist, absolutely fantastic. One of the most driven speech therapists we have in our agency, and just creating those unique opportunities. And Stacy Tucker from the occupational therapy side, and they are responsible for kind of carrying out those specific day-to-day operations for EHS. And then we have our director levels, which is John Wegener and Chris Volk. Both of them represent our EHS side from the director level and the administrative level. And the ABA side, we have a host of ABA supervisors that they are the ones who implement and carry out the ABA programming. But we have 6 to 7 at each site. And with them, we have people like Katie Sova, Ryan Fournier, Bree Hodgins Volk. They're all fantastic. Out in Midland, we have
Erica and Tim.
Erica and Tim. Yep. It's just absolutely fantastic staff that are fantastic. And aside from that, the infrastructure of our organization has grown so much. Clinic coordinators are one of the busiest jobs at our clinic. And the clinic coordinators are behavior technicians who've shown such promise in the field of ABA. And as from an employability standpoint, they are just of the most dedicated and hardworking. And those individuals have promoted up, and we have 2 at each site. So 5, we have 10 clinic coordinators that absolutely work day in and day out to get it done. They're the ones who open the clinic, track inventory, solve problems, daily fires. And some of those fires move upwards to leadership teams as well. But they are the people that get it done the most. But going back to some of the people to mention the most of is our ABA director and her team, Riley and Bree. They are some of the hardest working individuals in our department. And I and Kelly do not take any credit for the success we've had over the years. I think a big part of that is to this dream team. And our ABA director her name is Erin Liskowski. And her coming into that role right about the time COVID came on and being able to grow that department, not only during those times, but to continue to successfully meet the need and the demands of that role puts on her is nothing short of amazing. We have a CLS respite department that she's also been assisting in, and being able to grow that side like you said, it's the dream team we've been able to assemble. And it's something that Kelly and I can put our focuses on certain aspects because we know we have such a great team carrying things out. And the problems that we've worked to solve in our agency have always been, how do we continue to meet the need? But we've never had to focus on our clinical quality or our service concerns because our team does such an amazing job doing that. Our sole focus is always problematic of how do we continue to meet the need that's always growing.
So we're going to take one final break in this segment, and we're back. We're going to talk about how you guys have gotten engaged in our Great Lakes Bay region community.
M&R Garage Door wants to remind you, get those home improvement projects done now before winter weather hits. It's the perfect time to replace that old garage door with an M&R door or finally get a garage door opener. Their pros can install a pre-painted, maintenance-free garage door that will work great and look fantastic for years. An insulated door will help you save on your home heating bills. M&R can get your existing door ready for winter with new rubber bottom and perimeter seals. M&R can professionally install or repair any brand residential and industrial door or opener. Remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
For almost 25 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust proofing and military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust proofing process is wax based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
Make this holiday season extra special. With the Saginaw Children's Zoo membership, you can create lasting memories and unforgettable moments with your loved ones. Purchase a Saginaw Children's Zoo membership today and give a wild gift to your family. Visit our website, saginawzoo.com, to learn more.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you do?
Hi, Art Lewis here. And after many years in several vehicles, I finally get to talk about my car dealer, McDonald Ford, on M47 in Freeland. McDonald Ford wants you to know they are now buying cars. You can sell your vehicle by beginning the process by simply sending 7 photos of your car to Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Photos must be of the front, rear, left, and right sides, car's interior, dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. Receive an offer, and you decide. Payment is on the spot and includes all paperwork and lien release. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today and tell your friends and family too. Send your photos to Joe at McDonaldFord.com. That's Joe at McDonaldFord.com. Oh, by the way, mention my name, Art Lewis, and they'll throw in a free lunch with the deal. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is our final segment of the first hour here on a Monday. Guys, does it feel like a Monday?
Yes.
It feels like a Monday.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it feels like a Monday. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna need to caffeine up and grind our way through. I hope at the start of the next hour, Jonathan has some fun musical treats available for everyone to continue our discussion of Thanksgiving music, a growing genre founded by Jonathan Dent and Matt Felan.
I think it was founded by Adam Sandler.
Oh.
I don't think we can take credit
We
for
can't.
that one.
He's the godfather.
It's all how you tell the story, folks, and that's who gets to claim it, right? So during this last segment, guys, I started the show by talking about how Game Changer and that name is kind of everywhere, and you guys have really engaged in community. And so I'm going to ask, why have you gotten so involved in the Great Lakes Bay region community? I don't care if it's in Bay City Public Schools that we see you. We see you with youth sports and youth travel sports programming, but it seems like you guys have jumped as far in on that community side as you have the business side. Why did you end up going down that route?
So a big focus at Game Changer is community integration. And I think that's what really sets us apart from a lot of other outpatient providers. We don't just focus on success in the clinic, meeting goals at a table in your DTT room or in your therapy room. We really focus on success in the community. So a huge side of our business is taking our clients out into the community. We want families to be able to take their kids to Johnson's Pumpkin Farm and have them ride a horse or feed a goat or do any of those things in the community that people take for granted and enjoy it and not have behaviors. And so we try to take clients out into the community as much as possible. We always have movies at the State Theater at Christmas time. We rent out the State Theater and we let all of our clients go to a Christmas movie. But while we're there, we work on life skills, how to sit and watch a movie and how to behave properly when you're at the mall, at the restaurant, anywhere. And that just kind of led us into, we have 3 young children in the community, and that led us into just really wanting to be involved as much as possible in the school system and in travel sports and anything just to really help the youth and community as our focus.
Yeah, I would say, the region is our home, and being able to build partnerships with other small business and other local organizations has made our programs more successful, because the programs that we utilize and build bridges with, like the YMCA of Bay City, working with the CEO and the leadership team there has been amazing. And it was at our roots of collaboration. We got our starts at the Mid-Michigan Children's Museum with that collaboration. And our programs are successful because we're providing therapy services in environments where parents want to see those gains. And as Kelly alluded to, being able to make successful gains in a clinic where you have max control of those environments, if they don't carry over to the YMCA, if they don't carry over to restaurants and to going out to the movies, that's where life happens with families. And I talk to our staff about, we want our families to go out, a client with their mom and dad or loved one or grandparents, and to have dinner at a restaurant for the first time and saying we were able to do that because Game Changer Therapy Services got us to this point. At a point where some parents say they never thought they could do something like that. They thought this was something that wasn't for them, not their situation. We got them there. And that's what's most important. And those are the therapy gains that mean the most, are the ones that the parents feel and experience.
But aside from your clients, you're investing in youth sports for kids all across the region now, especially in the Bay community. And that seems to have become a big passion of yours. Why and where are you headed?
Yeah, with the Great Lakes Bay, with us, Great Lakes Bay Game Changers is a local travel sports organization. And we
named very well.
Yeah,
brilliantly named.
Exactly. We created that organization with the focus on, we want to be different than the other travel sports organizations. We want to encourage local sport participation. We want kids to have a summer and to be kids. We don't want to burn kids out before high school, but we want to create a travel or an extended season or a unique sports season that goes beyond those local sports, but also continues to collaborate with them. And it's really, again, listening to where travel sports were at this time and where they could be. We're kind of trying to take out some of the negatives and leave the positives, because at the end of the day, it's all about creating positive experience for the kids in the community and creating a sports facility where some of these kids and families can go to engage is a big target of ours. And that's something that's kind of we're heading towards. And I don't want to give too much away, but I just want to say we have some great things coming off of Bay Road. And it's where we call home is Frankenless Township. We really feel Frankenless Township is at the heart. I call it the hub of the wheel of the Great Lakes Bay region, because we can go everywhere. And we want to create a draw to this spot for our sports organization as well, that is going to create opportunities for the youth in this area and for families to come in this area to engage, because there's not enough of that right now.
Scott, I think you're reading signs, man. The signs in Frankenless Township say Frankenless Township, the heart of the Great Lakes.
The hub of the wheel.
You got to be careful. Just like I cannot take credit for the creation of Thanksgiving music as a genre, you cannot take credit for the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region for Frankenless Township.
I think I said it before the sign went up.
Hey, I want to thank you both for being here today. Loved hearing more about your small business, your passion for our community, and we wish you all the luck in the world.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Matt.
Absolutely. We'll be back after these messages.
Mental health exists in people we run into every day. Being able to talk about that openly and being able to have those conversations is so important. We can ask each other questions about our physical health. Hey, have you ever felt this? Have you ever done that? Why is it not the same for mental health? When frankly, they're so intertwined, if we don't treat one, then the other often suffers. And so being able to treat both our physical and mental health is really important, and being able to talk about that and make them really just equal things. It's just health. It's overall well-being.
To learn more, visit wellspringtherapists.com.
Looking for bigger, bolder, better yields? Look no further than FSC. FS Envision Seed Corn and FS High Soy soybeans are here to change the game. Our seed products deliver winning results every single time. Your local FS crop specialist is ready to take your farm and yields to the next level. Ready to change the game with bin-busting yields at harvest? Reach out to your local FS retailer or visit fsc.com.
Imagine it's the final game of the season, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are making a comeback. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
That wraps up this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Again, Matt Felan filling in for Art. Want to thank Scott and Kelly Stasak from Game Changer for joining me in the first hour. Up next in the second hour, we're going to be joined by Scott Ellis and Leanne Keller with Great Lakes Bay Pride. But first, the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Former President Trump arrived at court in New York City this past hour to testify at his civil fraud trial. He's just spoken to reporters outside the courtroom.
It's a very sad situation for our country. We shouldn't have this. This is for third world countries. And very unfair. It's very unfair. But in the meantime, the people of the country understand it. They see it. And they don't like it.
Mr. Trump called New York's Democratic State Attorney General Letitia James, who brought the case, racist. He claims she's declared nothing less than political warfare. A new phase of the Israel-Hamas war could begin shortly in Gaza City. Israeli military officials say they expect to enter within the next 48 hours for a fight below ground. CBS's Doug Williams reports from Tel Aviv.
In those compounds are observation posts. That's where they train Hamas militants. That's also part of where the entrances are to these underground tunnels. That's the primary concern for the IDF at this moment, is the casualties they've seen in terms of Israeli soldiers and the attacks coming from underground.
Communications have been cut across northern and southern parts of Gaza for the third time since the war began. Pope Francis told European rabbis today he was under the weather, but met with them anyway at the Vatican to speak out against anti-Semitism, war, and terrorism. The 86-year-old told the rabbis he was too sick to read his speech, but gave them copies to read on their own. A spokesman says the Pope has a bit of a cold. The father of an 11-year-old boy killed in a drive-by shooting near a playground in Cincinnati is urging the public to help in the search for a suspect.
How many people have to bury their kids, their babies, their loved ones? I'm just asking anybody that know anything to come forward, please.
Police say someone fired 22 shots into a crowd of young people Friday night. Many women who managed to break through glass ceilings may wind up falling off glass cliffs.
An analysis of companies listed on 12 global stock exchanges shows that since 2018, women have lasted an average of 5.2 years as chief executives compared to 8.1 years for men. The firm behind the study says that may be evidence for the existence of a so-called glass cliff, the idea that women leaders are set up to fail. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
A man named Musk is taking the wraps off his AI startup. CBS's Matt Piper.
Elon Musk has just launched a new artificial intelligence venture named Grok. He posted a side-by-side comparison Sunday of Grok answering a question versus another AI bot, which he says had less current information.
Dow up 14. This is CBS News.
Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credits.
It's time to let your checking account reward you. How does an extra $575 a year sound? Open a You First Reward checking account at United Financial, and we'll reward you with 6% APY and reimburse your ATM fees. It's easy to get started and easy to earn rewards just by doing your normal banking activities each month.
United Financial Credit Union, serving the proud community.
Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first. Visit our website or give us a call to learn more today.
Must meet eligibility requirements. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union, serving the Valley community.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 53 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A 25-year-old Saginaw man is recovering after being shot at a 7-Eleven on Saturday. Police say the man got into an altercation with a 43-year-old Saginaw man at the store on Bay Road and State Street around 6:15 p.m. when the suspect produced the firearm and shot the victim. He was taken to a local hospital for treatment of serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was taken into custody and is currently awaiting arraignment. A crash involving a bus full of children in Midland resulted in one person going to a hospital Friday morning. Police say the crash occurred around 10:10 at the intersection of Jefferson Avenue and East St. Andrews Road. Investigators say the driver of a van failed to yield to the right-of-way and crashed into a Midland Public Schools bus, which then struck a county connection bus. The driver of the van reportedly suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to a local hospital. School officials say no students or staff were injured, and parents of the students on the bus were notified. The Alida E. Lutz VA Medical Center and the YMCA of Saginaw have partnered to host the Veterans Health and Wellness Expo, which will take place November 8th from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Saginaw VA at 1500 Weiss Street, and then again on November 9th from 9 to noon at the YMCA of Saginaw on Fordney. The event will provide veterans and their families with information on resources available to support health and wellness. For more information, visit va.gov/SaginawHealthcare.com. WSGW News Time at 10:07.
I got it.
Thank you, honey. Oh, let me dry my hands. Hold on. Oh, and it looks like we got one too many table settings. Your brother couldn't get leave. He's not going to be
Right here?
Tommy!
Surprise.
How'd you get here?
Well, I know some folks.
This holiday season, let MBS International Airport with services through United and Delta Airlines bring the whole family together. Feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. For more information or to book your flight today, visit mbsairport.org.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. Tomorrow sounds like hydrogen being added to natural gas to make it more sustainable. It sounds like solar panels generating thousands of megawatts. And it sounds like carbon being captured and stored, keeping it out of our atmosphere. We've been bridging to a sustainable energy future for more than 20 years. Because what we do today helps ensure tomorrow is on. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The search is on for two men accused of sexually assaulting a woman after the Michigan football game Saturday night. Ann Arbor police say a woman reported she was assaulted on the private golf course across from Michigan Stadium. During football games, Ann Arbor Golf and Outing Club on Stadium Boulevard is used for parking. The woman says she was assaulted while walking back to her car parked on the course. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call the Ann Arbor Police Department. It's a disturbing trend on the rise, not just in Michigan, but nationwide. Wrong-way drivers. On the latest episode of the Talking Michigan Transportation podcast, Gary Bubar with AAA Michigan talks about why this trend is on the rise and what can be done to lower the risks of wrong-way collisions. Bubar says engineers often take the brunt of the blame for wrong-way driving because of confusing signs and directions.
They could maybe be confusing by factors that have nothing to do with the engineers. Oftentimes, this is laid at the feet of the engineering, saying, "How come this wasn't changed? How come you didn't do something to protect our drivers more?" Well, there's a responsibility of the driver to do some of the right things too. Pay attention to your signage, plan your route ahead of time.
One of the solutions MDOT has implemented in recent years is to lower do not enter and wrong way signs so they are closer to eye level for drivers. It's a week of action on the campus of Michigan State University. It's On Us, our events designed to bring together registered student organizations for gender-based violence prevention with the aim of encouraging campus communities to take a collective stand against sexual violence. The events are held twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 10:10. I'm Mike Percha. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Your Monday is going to have a quick, brief round of some rain, even a couple of thunderstorms in the mix there as well. This will mostly just be late morning and towards midday. During the afternoon today, we see any rainfall coming to an end. Also a little bit warm today, a high of 57 degrees. That's thanks to a southwesterly wind. It will be quite windy today. Wind speeds between 20 and 25 miles per hour, gusting to 35 to 40 miles per hour. This does fall short of a first alert weather day, but still first alerting you to some windy conditions for your Monday. We'll see that wind starting to slow down into Tuesday, but overnight just a low of 41 and mostly cloudy, and then still mostly cloudy Tuesday with a high of 47. By Wednesday, another chance of rain moving in with a high of 45. That rain goes into Thursday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Right now it's 55 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
To eat turkey. Love to eat turkey. Love to eat turkey, 'cause it's good. Love to eat the turkey like a good boy should, 'cause it's turkey to eat.
Good morning and welcome to the second hour of the Art Lewis Show. You guys were hearing and are hearing Thanksgiving music, which Jonathan and I have been chatting about for the last week, that even though Halloween came to an end, we were not transitioning to Christmas carols. No, we want Thanksgiving to get its due. And we believe that there should be a genre of Thanksgiving music that sees us through from November 1st until Thanksgiving, and then Bing Crosby can make his way in.
Yeah, I think Christmas music overstays its welcome. It comes in too early.
It comes in far
we need
too early,
Thanksgiving
right?
music.
Yeah, so there it was, a little snippet from Adam Sandler on SNL talking about how turkey only costs a nickel. One of the great and one of the only Thanksgiving songs that we know. We've been proven. We'll see if we can find maybe one more Thanksgiving song
Yeah, we'll see.
before the hour's over so that we can show that Thanksgiving music is a genre. This is your opportunity. We need to hear from you. If you want to help us create this genre of Thanksgiving music, this is your opportunity.
We can become the
strike it rich.
Thanksgiving music capital of the world.
Yeah, I can. Todd Michael Hall, I know you're listening. We're going to need a good rock song that highlights Thanksgiving. Let's show what we're capable of here.
It just occurred to me, Bronner's might not like that very much.
they may not. They may not. This may be a bad idea, folks. This may be a very short-lived experiment that's just not going to go so far. Which, by the way, takes me back to and Jonathan, you're way too young, and most people in the studio are way too young. One of my guests may be able to remember this, but one of the funniest Thanksgiving moments on television was the WKRP turkey drop. And they on the show they started dropping live turkeys out of the WKRP helicopter, and they found that they didn't fly. And Les Nessman was, the humanity. So there are a few very famous Thanksgiving times. But okay, off to business. Enough fun with our Thanksgiving music here on this hour. I am joined by our friends from Great Lakes Bay Pride, Scott Ellis, the executive director, and Leanne Keller, the board chair. Good morning, Scott and Leanne.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So what do you think? Do you think we're crazy on this entire Thanksgiving music genre? Do you think we have any promise in this, or are we going to fail miserably?
I am not optimistic. I do think that there's pretty limited options there. I am a fan of Christmas music, so I'm fine with going right into it after Halloween. So
Jonathan, detractors everywhere. Leanne, what do you think? Do we have any hope?
I've got hope for it. I'm opposite of Scott. I think Christmas comes too early. They were playing Christmas music this weekend when I was traveling.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We went down to to a mall over the weekend, and on the drive, we listened to Christmas music. The kids were like, turn it on. It's time. Find a Christmas station. My son's the worst. 17-year-old football, basketball, lacrosse player.
Those
Dad,
are
turn on Christmas music.
The very stereotypical Christmas music lovers.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you guys are so funny.
So, because we just need another TV show dealing with Thanksgiving that's got a cute little turkey song.
Well, we will see what we can do. But good to know. Scott Ellis, generally the voice of reason anyway, so this is helpful. So, Scott, I want to start with you.
Okay.
For our listeners that may not be familiar with Great Lakes Bay Pride, could you tell them about the organization and really maybe talk about its history, its inception, and it kind of had some founding fathers, if you will, to the formation of Great Lakes Bay Pride. Can you tell that story for our listeners?
I can try to tell it as quickly as possible. So Great Lakes Bay Pride's mission is to be the LGBTQ plus resource, education, advocacy, and networking organization that serves the Great Lakes Bay region. So we work in Bay, Midland, Isabella, and Saginaw counties. We have been around since 2002, originally incorporated under the name Perceptions, and that was a name we operated under for about 17 years. Before changing our name to Great Lakes Bay Pride as part of our strategic plan to better reflect the area that we serve and also to conjure up that name recognition that Pride has around the LGBTQ plus movement. So we did that in 2020, have been operating under that name ever since. Our biggest public event is the Great Lakes Bay Pride Festival, which has been hosted in Bay City since 2016. And we've grown that to go from about 800 to 1,000 attendees to over 3,500 attendees this past June.
So, Leanne, you have been involved as a board member and as someone who, for those of you that do not know Leanne, she is potentially one of the master strategic planners in the country, an incredible tactician. She's one of those people that when you see coming, you're like, oh no, it's strategic planning season. But at the same point, you're like, wow, I am not going through strategic planning unless Leanne is with us. So I know even from that side, an organization that has a lot of personal importance to you, you've been involved as a board member through strategic planning and really working hard to get the organization to where it is today. As a community member, why was this such an important priority to building Great Lakes Bay Pride to where it is today?
I think, when you look back at it over the last few years, we have had, as a nation, a big focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, belonging. There's so many ways that has transformed a lot of organizations. And it certainly was a time for us to step back and say, what does Pride need to work on so that we can continue to move forward on all of the DEI initiatives, not just for the LGBTQ plus community, but for everybody. And how do we fit in with that? And how do we normalize this so that we're all part of this force that moves forward and looks at having a very inclusive and equitable community? And if we do it one community at a time, we'll change the world, right? So
I want to be clear for our listeners because Scott used the word movement, but Great Lakes Bay Pride isn't necessarily a movement, but it's also offering program and services to members of the LGBTQ plus community here in the region. Can you talk about what those programs and services look like?
Absolutely. So we've had a big focus over the past year on building out our peer support programs. These are opportunities for people to come together in safe and welcoming environments where they can learn from others who are in the communities, living and working just like all of us. That's been a big focus. We've also had a focus on connecting people to the resources that they need. So we know that finding businesses, service providers that are welcoming and inclusive is not always the easiest thing to do. So we've tried to address some of that by introducing our online directory system. We have been working hard to identify more medical providers who are knowledgeable about LGBTQ plus people and any special circumstances that they may be facing because of their identity. So making sure that people get connected to those resources has been a big priority for us. And then generally educating the community about LGBTQ plus, what it means. We've launched a one-on-one training program that we offer. We have hosted other events and networking opportunities, because that is one thing we really lack in this region, are opportunities to gather. And that is something COVID underscored the importance of, and we're hoping to continue offering throughout the Great Lakes Bay region.
So I just want to ask kind of a broad question for both of you. It seems like through the course of time, LGBTQT plus issues oftentimes take center stage in daily discussion. I know they're taking center stage over the weekend. A lot has come out on how the new Speaker of the House feels on these issues. But it did feel like for a time that maybe a lot of progress was being made in terms of acceptance, and it didn't seem like it was such a controversial issue, and marriage equality and various issues were making a ton of progress. But then you run into, I don't know if culture wars is the right issue. Someone drinks a Bud Light and does a commercial, and then suddenly things erupt. How does just the climate feel in the community right now? Because I just have to tell you, looking at it as someone from a third party, it just seems like you never know what's going to happen. It seems like things are calm and there's a lot of progress being made, and then all of a sudden something happens and it's tumultuous. How does that climate feel right now on the issue?
I think it really depends on what environment you're looking at. So here in Michigan, we know over the past year, we've made really incredible progress that I'm happy to dive into a little bit more. Nationally, we're seeing these other conversations happen. I don't think that it's necessarily been the focal point, but it's something that maybe draws the most attention when it is brought up. So you brought up the Bud Light controversy, of which, just to set the record straight, there was one can made by that company and gifted to someone. So let's be clear that that was not distributed anywhere beyond that one gift from the company to the social media influencer that was at the heart of this whole thing. We also have the controversy of Target pulling Pride merchandise from their stores, in June because of some backlash that they got. I think being in this role, it's incredible how many times I get asked about different things, either locally or nationally or even worldwide. I've been asked before to comment on something the Pope said. And to me, I wonder what is my opinion having to do with this? But it is part of this bigger conversation that we're having about LGBTQ plus rights and making sure that people are treated equitably, wherever they live in our country.
So this is an important discussion, and I want to continue it, but we're going to take a quick break here on the Art Lewis Show.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Dan the Mattress Man has everything you need to make your house a home.
Sectionals, recliners, and lift chairs?
Dan has them.
Adjustable beds, sofas, and twin beds for only $99?
Dan has that and more with 0 down and 12 months no interest.
And it's all made in the U.S. just like Dan?
Yes. And go to danthemattressman.com to learn more and save.
Dan the Mattress Man can at 802 Ashman Street in Midland.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward.
Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher, though shares of Dish Network are down 13%. The satellite TV service reported it lost money in the summer quarter. Its number of subscribers declined, and its president and CEO is stepping down. Tesla shares are up 2%. There are reports it's planning to build a more affordable electric car in Germany. The Berlin factory currently only produces the Model Y SUV. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's investment firm, reported a record profit in the summer quarter. Hilton Grand Vacations is buying Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership partner of Bass Pro Shops, and luxury giant LVMH is buying luxury sunglass brand Barton Pereira, based in Los Angeles. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Looking for bigger, bolder, better yields? Look no further than FSC. FS Envision Seed Corn and FS High Soy Soybeans are here to change the game. Our seed products deliver winning results every single time. Your local FS crop specialist is ready to take your farm and yields to the next level. Ready to change the game with bin-busting yields at harvest? Reach out to your local FS retailer or visit fsc.com.
Looking for top-notch personal protection? The Smith & Wesson Equalizer is here to level the playing field. Easy to rack slide, easy to control ergonomic grip. It's designed for you. With a 10, 13, and 15-round magazine included, size up for better control or size down for easier concealment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to upgrade your safety. Visit your local dealer now. To learn more about the Equalizer, visit smith-wesson.com. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. All capacity sizes may not be available in your jurisdiction. Be sure to check your local laws and regulations.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Fwan filling in for Art. Seventh and final day, and Art is back from vacation tomorrow. Jonathan, during the break, of all people, my mom sent me a text and said, you need to Google Thanksgiving music. It exists. And so sure enough, there's a list from Town and Country magazine listing its top 45 songs. I'm going to tell you some of these, no way. They're going to be Take Me Home, Country Roads by John Denver. That's a stretch, y'all. Where You Lead, Carole King. We Are Family, Sister Sledge. I mean, just having a song about family and coming home. I mean, that's like every country music song ever made. At least here I'm seeing Thanksgiving Prayer by Johnny Cash. So we'll have to continue our research, but apparently or Cooking Up Something Good by Mac DeMarco. Really? Now we're going to include cooking? I mean, even this list, it's a stretch. I think we have opportunity here because this list proves that it's a shady. I don't agree. We have work to do on this, Jonathan.
Yeah, I've looked through the top 15 here, and there's maybe two that I'm like, yeah, okay. That's a Thanksgiving song.
I cannot wait till we compile the real Thanksgiving songs into one playlist or set list and see the lowest gross sales of anything ever done in the history of music. But we'll save that. So we are back here with Scott Ellis and Leanne Keller from Great Lakes Bay Pride and want to continue the discussion just about kind of the climate around LGBTQT plus issues. And it seems like whenever politics gets involved or legislation gets involved, it seems like that temperature on the thermometer rises. We were talking about how one just issue out in the lexicon, something in social media, something that's out there creates controversy, but yet it had seemed like over the last 20 years, 30 years, there had been a lot of progress. Leanne, I'd like to turn to you. How do you feel that culture is? Do you feel today that, and I'm going to bring this up from, let's say, this perspective. If you look at suicide rates are incredibly high among teens and young adults in this population. Do you feel like progress is being made, or do you feel like it's one step forward, two steps back, and it's a constant battle? How does that culture feel to you today?
I do think it's a constant battle, but I feel like there's been so much we're prospering, people are thriving more than they were, but we still go back and look at youth. Like for me, if you had to ask me where do I feel like we have the biggest gaps, it would be with youth. Because we still hear stories of kids, and we know that our LGBTQ plus kids have higher rates of suicide than other kids do. We know there are more mental health issues. It's not to say there aren't mental health issues or suicide rates with all kids in general, but they are higher. I think back to one of the reasons why I got involved with this organization, and it was probably 10 years ago, and I was working with the group as a consultant. And I was doing some focus groups with transgender folks. And a parent came up to me and said, I have nowhere to go, and I lack understanding, and I don't know what to do for my son. My son would like to transgender to a female. And I have nothing. I don't even know where we can go out to dinner and be accepted. My church doesn't accept me now. We feel uncomfortable going out in public. And she had tears in her eyes. And I sat there and I thought, wow, I'd never thought through just being able to walk outside my house and go to church or to go to a restaurant, and her lack of understanding and her husband's lack of understanding and what resources they needed to do to help her son. And then you got to step back and say, how many kids are out there that don't have those resources at all, whose parents don't even want to know or want to try to help? We know that our transgender youth and our LGBTQ youth, transgender specifically, have much higher rates of bullying, misunderstandings. They're put in unsafe situations time and time again. They live on the street. They're homeless. And I think we have work to do with that.
So here's a question that I want to ask as it relates to the issue. It seems like the vitriol from the other side sometimes. There seems to be like a hatred, a loathing. It's an anger. It's not like when we talk about an issue, oftentimes I may think one thing, someone else may think the other. And it's not like this impassioned thing. We just have a difference of opinion. Why is there there's so much temperature behind this? Why do people get so upset? Why is there so much anger? I don't understand on this issue why it seems to be taken as something that those who oppose the movement or programs or whatever it is are so angry. Where does that come from in your mind, working on the side that you do with Great Lakes Bay Pride?
I wish we had the answer to that. I could not possibly answer where that comes from. I think if we knew, we could, work to address that. But as we know, we can only do so much when it comes to changing someone's, I'll use some phrasing, sincerely held beliefs. You just can't change that for some people. Other people who are open to learning more, understanding more, interacting with the community in positive ways, can make some progress here. But I don't know how we get beyond it being such a hot issue, especially in the political arena. There are not a lot of issues that take that much center stage attention when it comes to kind of differences maybe between political affiliations as LGBTQ. And the reality is, we know that there is support. There's support in a lot of different ways. We've seen bipartisan support in Michigan. We've also seen party line support just this year on legislation. So
let's talk about one of those pieces.
I'd love to.
Because I think it's timely.
I'd love
There's
to.
name change legislation currently going through in Lansing. What exactly is going on there, and why is this a hot button issue?
Well, so that is the latest thing to be introduced. Introduced just last week, a package that included a number of bills to help make the legal name change process easier to navigate. So outside of marriage, legally changing your name is an incredibly difficult and expensive process. With marriage, it is very straightforward. You can do it pretty easily. Legally changing it, as would be the case with somebody who maybe transitioned or wanted to change their name for whatever reason, it is complicated. Every single county in Michigan has a different process. It's all generally the same, and you're looking for the same outcome, but how you get to that outcome is different across our 83 counties. I may have misquoted.
Nope, you got it.
Okay, I was right. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So, a different process for all of that. And each one of those coming with fees, everything from filing fees to getting your fingerprints done for your background check to paying for extra copies of the necessary forms at the county clerk's office. It's really complicated, and that prevents people from going through it. One of my kind of advocacy pieces for making this process easier has to do with making sure we have secure and fair elections. And that is making sure that people have accurate identification. We hear that from a side that maybe is not as supportive of some of this, but I think this is a key example of where bipartisan efforts can actually work together to say, people need accurate identification, and let's make sure that process happens in an equitable and easy way.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about how people who are listening that want to help Great Lakes Bay Pride as an organization, volunteer, donate, or direct a loved one to the organization, how they do so after these messages.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront Saginaw. Support small this fall and warm your soul with over 30 small businesses. Retail shopping with handmade wares from This, Then, and Maybe, and some of the hottest jewelry trends with Sparkle Rush by Erica. Grab some delicious pho from Saigon Sandwich or some award-winning chili from the one and only Cop King. American favorites like some homemade cornbread from Myrna's or a warm pumpkin spice latte from Sips Downtown. Support small this fall at the SVRC Marketplace, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Join us at our upcoming holiday events like our Halloween at the Market, Friday, October 27th, and Calling All Makers for our annual Holidays in the Heart of the City Makers Market, November 17th through the 18th. We want to know if we are reaching our community, so let us know you hear us. Find Sips Coffee Shop and mention this ad and receive a free $5 gift certificate on us and support our small businesses. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we will see you at the market.
Looking for top-notch personal protection? The Smith & Wesson Equalizer is here to level the playing field. Easy to rack slide, easy to control ergonomic grip. It's designed for you. With a 10, 13, and 15-round magazine included, size up for better control or size down for easier concealment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to upgrade your safety. Visit your local dealer now. To learn more about the Equalizer, visit smith-wesson.com. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. All capacity sizes may not be available in your jurisdiction. Be sure to check your local laws and regulations.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
At
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. That's why you get 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, because every home deserves to be protected. Right now, get 50% off the whole home security system named the best of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. Visit simplysafe.com/radio to save big today. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. But what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too. For over 30 years, it's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing, too. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another $150 savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's November 15th. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number, 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. The Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. So I am in studio here this morning with Scott Ellis, Executive Director of Great Lakes Bay Pride, and their board chair, Leanne Keller. So for those that are listening right now, really want to talk about your organization specifically. How are you funded? And pretty much, how can people help? If there are those that are listening and say, you know, I really want to help this organization, I want to donate or I want to volunteer, what do they need to do? And what kind of help are you looking for?
So right now we are primarily funded through sponsorship of some of our major program initiatives, including all of our Pride Month activities. We have a big fundraiser called Together in Pride that is going to happen in April next year. So save the date, April 11th. We have a number of other smaller things that go on, especially those networking opportunities. And we also rely on individual contributions. We do have some grant funding for specific programs, but those individual donations are really important. We'll be sending out our annual letter in the next couple of weeks. Looking for that, you can go on our website, greatlakesbaypride.org, to make a donation. And we do have volunteer sign up. We don't always have a ton of opportunities outside of those big initiatives, but we get everybody's contact info. We get you on our volunteer list. And then when we do have opportunities come up, we send out notifications about that.
So on the other side of the coin, those that are listening that may have a family member, a loved one, a friend that they think could benefit from the services of Great Lakes Bay Pride, what do they do? How does someone reach you if they're looking for those services or if someone wants to refer someone?
Yeah. So again, our website, greatlakesbaypride.org, is a great resource, not only to check out our online directory system, but also our calendar, where we keep our most up-to-date information about the peer support programs that go on in the region and other special events. I think peer support opportunities are a great chance for a family member or somebody to, interact in a safe space with peers. We are going to be working on some new programming for 2024. So we'll announce that, as we're able to. But that's a great resource. You can find our contact info on there. Email us, info@greatlakesbaypride.org. And yeah, we're happy to try and make the connections that we can so people get the resources that they need.
So Leanne, I want to end on a question for you, which we've been talking maybe big picture on the issue today, but I think this is an important question. We have a few minutes. There are those in society who feel like the movement is being forced upon them, that they didn't ask for this, and no matter what they do, why are people looking for these? And they'll say special rights. What would you say to those folks when they come to you and say, well, this is how I feel on my side? what would you say to them about really what it means from someone on your side and what it means to you and why that's really not the case?
Well, I think the first thing I would say is that we're not on different sides. I mean, we're on the side of humanity here, as far as my perspective is. And when I look at the fact that we are a democracy here in the United States, which is wonderful, we all should have the ability to have differences of opinions. Where I draw the line is when somebody's rights interfere with somebody else's rights. And so everybody in our nation, everybody in the world has the right to have a safe life, right? Everybody has the right to practice and believe what they want, to be married who they want to be, to love who they want to be. And our rights or their rights are the same, right? I mean, seriously, our rights should be the same. And my right to love who I want to be does not interfere with somebody else's right to love with who they want to be. And I think that's as simple as I can put it, Matt. We don't want to have, we don't want to set up a community where we have us and them. This is a community of people that have many intersectionalities. And I think that's the part that people don't understand. We have lots of diversities. It's not just LGBTQ+. There are many diversities with race and ethnicity and everything like that. And we're all on the same earth trying to do the same things.
Well, hey, I want to thank both of you guys for being here today. It's an important discussion. Difficult discussions are worth having. And in this case, I think there's maybe a lot of misconceptions and misunderstanding. And I hope that today served as an opportunity for you guys to really explain what Great Lakes Bay Pride does as an organization, but really be able to discuss the issues and what it means to people. So thank you both.
Thanks for having us, Matt.
Yeah, we'll be back after these messages.
One of the most successful groups in rock history, Three Dog Night, in concert with all their hits. Friday, November 17th, Dow Event Center. Three Dog Night. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Three Dog Night, celebrating 5 decades of hits. Friday, November 17th, Dow Event Center.
It's time to let your checking account reward you. How does an extra $575 a year sound? Open a You First Reward checking account at United Financial, and we'll reward you with 6% APY and reimburse your ATM fees. It's easy to get started and easy to earn rewards just by doing your normal banking activities each month.
United Financial Credit Union, serving the Valley community.
Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first. Visit our website or give us a call to learn more today.
Must meet eligibility requirements. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union, serving the Valley community.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
Reminder, Medicare open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Have local Medicare experts walk you through the choices this fall. Medicare Choices is now M-Care Choices. Same professional assistance, but now with a different name. Does your Medicare plan include help paying for gas for your car, utilities, food and groceries, dental and vision, no-cost hearing aids, Medicare Part B premium credits? Call M-Care Choices, formerly Medicare Choices, today at 989-899-7820. No-fee service. Call the Medicare experts, M-Care Choices, formerly Medicare Choices, 989-899-7820.
ABC Wednesday.
It's country music's biggest night.
The CMA Awards, live. With performances by Luke Bryan, Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll, and K. Michelle. Old Dominion with Megan Maroney. Carly Pierce featuring Chris Stapleton. Tanya Tucker with Little Big Town. And more.
The best in country music!
Luke Bryan and Peyton Manning host.
The CMA Awards, live.
Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream next day on Hulu.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, filling in for Art. It's my last segment of 7 straight days of hosting the Art Lewis Show. And I've had some fun over the course of the last several days. We've also been hosting some high school students for job shadowing opportunities. Last Thursday, I had 3 gentlemen, one from Bay City Western, one from Bay City Central, and one from Saginaw Valley Lutheran that were in studio. And this morning, I am joined by Sydney from Bay City Western, a senior. Good morning, Sydney.
Good morning.
So the first question I have to ask, so what did you think? You got to sit through a couple hours here this morning of our broadcast, a couple very different sets of guests. What are your impressions of what radio broadcasting looks like?
I think it's great. I mean, meeting new people every single day and learning about different organizations in the area and just keeping people informed. I would honestly, if this was my job, I would never get sick of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the great parts of this show and hosting it is that we have different guests from different walks of life, different backgrounds every day. So you get to hear things. We all kind of have our own personal feelings on issues, but when you're on the air, with the exception of our view on Thanksgiving and Christmas music, it's really not our job to give our opinion, but we're really trying to let others tell their story, whether it's their business, their entity, their nonprofit, of what they care about. And so you're right, Sydney, it just never gets boring at all. So my question for you, what made you come and want to do this job shadow today? Why are you here with me at WSGW? What made you say, you know what, Mrs. G, I want to go over on this job shadow and this is what I want to do? Why'd you pick this?
Mrs. G is just great. Well, it kind of all started with I was asked to announce the volleyball games. So I started announcing, and I found that I really have a knack for it, or maybe I just like talking, one of the two. But Miss G, she came to me and she was like, you should really try this out. I mean, just go get out there, Sydney. And I was like, you know what? I'll go check it out and see what's going on over here. Honestly, I didn't even know there was a radio station in the area, because I usually never listen to the radio. But when I found out about it, I did a little deep dive, did a little stalking on Google, and I'm really happy I chose to come here.
So career-wise, you're a senior.
Mm-hmm.
So it's over in the blink of an eye. You graduate in June.
Yep.
And now your parents and society are expecting something of you. Where do you see yourself going? What do you want to do career-wise?
Well, I want to go into sports media management. Right now, I run all the social medias for Western High School. I'm the executive social media chair for our student council. So I really like doing that. And with the job, you have to advertise a whole bunch of events that Western hosts, and you just got to get it out there in the community. And I found that I really like doing that. I think it's a good way to just kind of get into that field. And I think now that social media is becoming such a big part in companies, I think like newer people, like a fresher generation, is really good for some of these old companies to get back in the field. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a great point, because I think my son, he and a friend of his ended up working for a local company,
Mhm.
and they were simply recruited and grabbed because that company had a few ideas of how they were going to work with local sports teams and clubs, etc. I don't have to speak about this vaguely. I mean, FP Horak and their fan attribution program and their CEO, Marisa, had said, you know what I really want to understand is a different voice, a different set of lenses. What do younger people think on these issues? How do they think? And they wanted these 2 young guys to help promote the brand, because they thought the way they promoted and their networks would resonate with that peer group. And
Mhm.
so I definitely think you're onto something in the era of social media. People that are purchasing products and services are all age, but it seems like a lot of it is now driven by that social media age. And so the voice of kids now that are teens have become much more important for companies. For you, is it nice to feel like you're being heard, or that they're marketing directly to you?
I actually think it's really nice. Like, TikTok's a big, social media platform, and it's kind of funny because I'll see just random companies that I never would have thought would have a social media have a social media. For instance, I see like the Detroit Lions, like every single like football team has their own TikTok account now, and they're like in on the memes, and it's just crazy like seeing all the comments of all these young kids, like they're like getting into some of these things that normally wouldn't be like, I don't know how to say it, like towards them, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I wouldn't think, oh, like Detroit Lions, like I want to watch it. But when I see like TikToks of like their page, I'm like, oh, this is funny. Maybe I should look into this.
So I think it's smart because at the end of the day, teens are consumers, children are consumers. Trust me, as someone with a 14 to 17-year-old, they are not shy spending my money whenever and wherever they can. So I know how strong of consumers they are. But the messaging to that group is important too, right? You just can't give the same message to a 50-year-old as you do a 15-year-old. Don't you think that these platforms offer that opportunity?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, when I used to see commercials on TV, I would get so annoyed and I'd probably go on my phone because it's like, oh, the same old, you know. But on TikTok, like the way they advertise certain products or just themselves, it really appeals to like this younger audience. And I think that is really a good way to just get more people involved in their companies. And I think it's really smart.
So, Sydney, you're going to have to live your entire life with kind of this on your I don't know what the right word is, but just kind of on who you are. But you're a COVID kid, aren't you? You as a senior came into school. Freshman year was a COVID year, correct?
Yep.
How, seeing through how everything's gone, do you think that's prepared you, held you back? Do you feel like you're behind? Do you think you've learned to adapt? What does it mean to be a COVID kid, that first senior class that had to live with it, you know, right away as freshmen? What does that mean?
Well, honestly, I didn't mind that much, you know, staying home. I mean, nobody got to see my weird freshman phase, so I was really grateful for that. But I really feel bad for the seniors at the time that had to miss out on prom, homecoming, you know, their sports seasons, and even graduation itself. I think that just really took a toll on everyone. But I also think it was a time for people to regress and look on themselves and find new ways of doing things. And that's how this whole social media thing kind of came about. I think that's really where it took off, especially TikTok itself. So
Great. Well, Sydney, it was so great to have you here.
Oh,
thank you for job shadowing. You can't leave yet. One more segment, but we'll be back on the Art Lewis Show in a few moments.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
That wraps up this edition of the Art Lewis Show. thank you to my guests from Game Changer Therapy Services and Great Lakes Bay Pride. Up next is Focused, and we are going to be chatting with some of our leaders in the Veterans Networks here in the Great Lakes Bay region. But first, the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.